Hey everyone, Papercut here with a series of coaching sessions I'm doing with Trumbull. He is a player who is preparing to, for the first time, compete in the low ELO Legends tournament. I think this is a great way for people who want to force themselves to learn other civs and other strategies. It kind of makes you do that, and I think a lot of people would find these sort of coaching sessions interesting to see how we prep them, how we look at games, and then in the later sessions, how we prepare for the tournament. If you're interested for your own coaching sessions in a similar way, feel free to check the description of the YouTube where you can find my coaching Discord, which has coaching information, or if you just need a Discord community where you can ask questions, talk about your experiences AOE 4, or just simply vent if you're on a losing streak. So I hope you enjoy the videos, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Sounds good. Solid.
All right. So the first one we're going to look at is your loss versus English on Gorge. This was an interesting one because you went Chamber of Commerce.
Oh yeah, this? I was feeling a little creative. Yeah, I wanted to see, as I haven't seen the meta yet, so I was trying to see what I can get away with.
So in my
Not
notes,
this, apparently,
in my notes I put joke build ? But it was legitimate. You could have won with this. I think this game shows an issue I've seen when looking at your losses and even your wins. I would say the two things we're really going to focus on, outside of the usual, like we could always say macro. Like we could always do better on macro. And I'll point out the macro mistakes when possible. But I think the two things is your lack of scouting after Dark Age.
Yep. Yes.
And two, your lack of I guess the best way to describe this is like decisiveness or follow-up. You often lose opportunities to do damage because you're often taking the safer bet. So like you might win an engagement and then not follow up. You might be making units and just slow play the engagement. You might get to the opponent's base but not dive. Like things where always taking the safer move is actually causing you to lose instead of, or delay the game longer, instead of taking a decisive action.
Agreed, yeah.
And that can be hard because a lot of that decisiveness is kind of just reps and feeling. But there's also some things we can establish as, when this happens, at least try to pressure and see what you can get. Do you remember this game?
The fine details, not so much, but the vague outline, yes.
Okay. Well, your opening's pretty good. The one thing I'd suggest is always, even on 2 scout, is have the first scout dive middle. And since, especially on these smaller maps, the first scout should dive middle and then to like one side of the opponent's base and just get a whole side. While the second scout basically dive over and get the close sheep, drop them off, and then go far. So the goal would be you've gotten at least 3/4 of the map to yourself. You have one whole side and your corner. And then if you're lucky, your opponent follows you on this side, and then you clean up this whole side too. But still,
where do you stand on 2 scout as a sort of general idea?
I'm not a fan generally because one, it's a little bit more APM, which could mess up your builds early. 2, I understand the feeling of, as French, if you get more sheep, then you've done damage, in a way, because they can't leave their base. But you know, it's English. He might, if he's good with his macro, he won't need to leave his base.
True, yeah.
And lastly, the age-up timing for aggressive civs is so important. You getting a knight to an opponent's base 15 seconds earlier could be the difference between you stopping a tower or not. Could be the difference between you keeping them in his base or him being able to actually pressure you. Like the margins like that are actually very, very thin, and a second scout does delay. And you know, on these small maps, there's actually not a lot of sheep. So if you like sweep the board of sheep, it was definitely worth it. But I don't know what it's worth. I know you like doing 2 scouts, so if that's the value view of it, feel free to
usually I'm a 1 scout. This is sort of part of my experiment. I was trying to think maybe if I'm playing aggro, I'll try 2 scout, but it didn't exactly.
And also, you didn't use your 2 scout to the advantage in the sense that with 2 scouts, you could have had his whole base uncovered. Like you could have been having 1 scout on one side, 1 scout on the other, but you didn't. And if you really use the scouting to its full advantage, I could see it becoming really worthwhile. But once again, with your Civ being one that is so dependent on your early timing to get to the opponent, outside of this Chamber of Commerce build, but like usually, you know, you're getting down your landmark and you're going with your knight. 15, 20 seconds can be the difference between doing game-breaking damage or showing up in there's a tower, then you're just kind of like walking around. So that's my thought on it.
Yeah, I'm going to sort of circle that in my notes there. Just the benefit of the early is going to be probably more for me.
Isn't it better for English to do one scout because they're like super dependent on farms instead of sheep?
Yeah, like they don't need to do 2 scouts. That would just slow down their opening. Really, the only time I would say 2 scouts is worth it is if you're a boom civ who's going 2 TC and every sheep really helps on defense. But even then, you could argue that getting to feudal faster, get the second TC up, is more important. So there's a reason why you don't see a lot of high-level players do second scout, because they all value getting to feudal and their timings a lot more than straight up getting as much sheep as possible. Outside of the maps where there's a lot of sheep, like on Prairie, everyone went to scout because the amount of sheep was so high. It was worth trying to get as many of them as possible. So I like your placement for the Chamber of Commerce to try to get as much value of going to that market, and you end up getting like 66 gold. Have you seen someone play this opening before?
No. I usually play 2 TC French, and I thought I want to try to do 1 TC, but like cheat. Like, what's the closest to 2 TC I can do on 1 TC? And I thought maybe Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. So people play this build do it 2 different ways. One, they do, I am just getting the traders from my eco upgrades. So the idea is you're not investing anything extra. You're using the extra gold as a little bit of boost. And then once you establish map control, then you go really into trade. The other way of playing this is trying to make as few units as possible and maximizing the traders. I think it's dependent on what civ you're playing against. If you're playing against a boom civ, you go all in on trade. Against English, which tends to feudal rush, you do not want to make any extra traders until you are secured the map, in my opinion. Because buying extra traders could be the difference between you getting enough units to defend, and if your trade dies, this whole thing falls apart.
Right.
So early on, you're going to see a few times when you're making traders, which I think potentially delays units, which could be bad. So you see him opening up. He's behind on his age up. His age up is very slow, which some English do, usually if they go to TC. Your scout comes here, and then my question is, why does your scout leave? You know what I mean? Like, you have the whole...
he should just be in the area, sort of beacon.
With 2 scouts, one should be like here, one should be here. If you're 1 scout, I tend to sit on the spot where I know the longbowmen are coming out, so like here, so I can see if they're coming across the map. Instead, you do what is admittedly a very cool look, where you have each scout on the hill here, which you are not the first guy I've coached who's done 2 scout on this map and puts the scouts on the hills. There's something intrinsically...
the cool factor was too much to just not do it.
Everyone wants to like dip the camera and just be like, oh wow, look at me. But like, it doesn't actually provide you that much.
Yeah. And I realized that if he would go straight down the middle, I wouldn't even see it.
Yep. So instead, always have your scouts, once you've done scouting, sit where you think you'll get the most information. So in this case, what you need to check is always, are they going to go second TC? So check the stone, which he didn't go to. The other thing is sitting here and seeing, is he having like 5 on gold? Then he's going castles. Is he have 2 or less? Then he's feudal rushing. Is he making farms? And most importantly, is he just sending units across the map? That's what you need to check. Because the second if I'm him and I see Chamber of Commerce, I am going full throttle, which he didn't scout it actually. Lucky you. But and the second he sees that, his idea should be, I need to shut this down right now. And the reason French trade is considered a little bit weaker compared to other trade openings is because knights are so expensive, and so much of the French power comes from knight opening into aggression. So here's what I think is great. Your macro early is really good at getting up a stable and then immediately getting a knight out. And so your macro should be actually focused early on at getting knights out and then pressure. Why do you think that's so important in this build?
Because I need him to not touch my map control.
Mm-hmm.
I need him to be fighting over there.
Especially with how the trading posts are right in the middle of the map. Like, this isn't a map where the trading post is in the corner. Like, it's smack down in the middle. So you have to get knights across the map. Even if it's like, even if he has more units, just making him have to chase you. And then your goal would be, can I get a wall up like right here? To get like this first wall here, and then maybe like a wall to here. Like something where I'm protecting this trade and buying myself time. But your macro should be, I get knights out. Once he starts making a lot of spears, I go heavy into archers. But instead, you're going to go way too heavy on on wood. Which I think was because you wanted to make traders. But you don't need to make traders. All you need to do is just get your eco upgrades. Remember, do not have villagers sit on berries. 15 sheep. Wow, so the 2 scouting worked on this. You got way more sheep than him. But here's the thing. He could have gone...
and then I'd take the berries anyway, which is sort of peculiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he could have gone deer because you weren't pressuring. You did get down this archer range. And here's the thing. If you get down an archer range and then barracks and then even split knights and archers, that's fine. But, like, we need to be making units ASAP. Because he's already sending... You got one knight out and you could have made another one. But you're catching these archers. He sent archers across with no spears, which is huge. Remind me.
I felt really strong on the opener, especially when I got those first archers. I thought, okay, my position is really solid.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead to one of our points, right? About not following up. Do you keep all your production on hotkey? Remind me.
I use the F1, and then I sort of tab between which buildings I want to hit.
Cool. So that's the same concept as me, where I do on 3. Yeah. Okay. So you kill these 2 archers, longbowmen, and the follow up here is you run nowhere. There's no pressure. There's no go.
Yeah.
And you've done, considering the early game, you've done immeasurable damage. He has lost 2 units. And you have taken barely any damage. And in the early game, that's everything. Like, if this was mid to late game, that's nothing. But early game, this is everything. But look what you've not done. You haven't scouted to see openings. And so you have no knowledge. And what do we tend to assume when we have no knowledge? We tend to over-assume our opponent's strength.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But in reality, killing those 2 longbows, the thought process would have been, oh, he's free. Which he is. He's just getting up a barracks. His gold is wide open. He has a guy on berries he could have picked. Like, he is weak. And if you had sent that knight and archers across, the second a spearman comes out, he can get popped by your archers. Like, this is almost like a game-ending spot right here.
I have a question. If you were at this moment and you were going aggressive with that knight properly, do you prioritize getting chivalry right now, or do you just get another knight as soon as possible?
No. Knight.
Okay.
You wait till you get chivalry until you have, like, 8 or more.
Okay.
The reason being is so expensive. It's basically a knight that you're spending, gold-wise. But it's actually more expensive than knight. It's 300 resources. A knight is 240.
Gotcha.
So I would focus on getting more knights, and then once you have 8 to 10, and 3 of them are pretty hurt, you pull those 3 back, and then you get chivalry. Because then at that point, your eco should be better. You should have more food. You should have more gold. The problem is right now is that you're very heavy on wood right now. And to continue making knights and getting upgrades, you need to be on gold more. But this trade's great. You're getting 39 gold. I mean, not the best, but I mean, pretty good for this map. So as long as you rally, 5 to 6 to gold and let your trade keep building, you can just pop knights. And especially at this point, if you just kept making knights, you would have always outnumbered his spears anyway.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Do they build at the same rate, or they have?
No, 35 seconds to. Let's see when he gets his barracks up. 35 seconds to 15 seconds, but he has to make 2 to 3 spears per night to be effective.
True. Oh, yes, that's the factor. Yeah.
And you could have just built another stable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really make another scout? Hell yeah, 3 scouts.
Wow.
But the point being is, you had all of this time, and you let him get back in the game. You didn't even do something like secure your position with a wall. You just sat here. And I get you might be like, let's watch your camera position here. You might be, yeah, you're macroing, you're doing stuff. But it's not like you're making insane macro decisions. Things are pretty chill. You're just not... You're obviously not prioritizing aggression because your villagers are not set up to that. You build more production, which is great. But we're just kind of sitting here. And not only that, we could have secured even better eco by sending... Where is it? 8 villagers to the boar here.
Yeah, I should have done that sooner.
Which is in the corner. And since you've taken map control, there's no way he's running to this boar. In fact, if he runs this way, he'll see the trader before he sees the boar.
Mm-hmm.
Which would even... So, like, you had all of these chances to, even if you don't want to be aggressive, to even just secure eco by going on boar, deer, getting your wallet, protect your trade. You didn't do any of that. You just kind of sat here and let him stay in the game. He had to be on berries right here.
Right,
Your knights and archers here, cut off gold, cut off berries, and he's done. Honestly done.
And even his wood line's off TC, too.
Which I don't know why he did it this way. Weird. But
yeah,
overall, your passivity and your lack of scouting is what loses you this game. Because you actually execute a weird build very well. Like, you understood in your mind, okay, I know what the Chamber of Commerce does. I know how to take advantage of that. I know the units I need to defend. I know my general goal. But you didn't adjust past that to what you're experiencing in the game. So the planning of it went really well. You just didn't execute past what you're seeing happen in the field. Because then he shows up with this. And honestly, he shouldn't have more units than you. Like, he has 6 archers and 4 spears. You just stopped making units. It looks like you're going castle right now.
I think I am. I'm not...
No, you don't. You end up not going castle.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
Because I think you see the units, you recommit to making units. Yep, so 2 more knights, 3 more archers. If we had just been making this from the start, you wipe him. Like, literally all you had to do to win this game was just keep making units.
Yeah.
And then this tower here. Don't get this one. If we're ever making towers, make sure they're more forward to catch movement. I get putting it here because, like, I want to protect the trade. But you know what would have been better? A tower here and just a wall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead, you lost villagers unnecessarily. So, like, when I'm thinking about where I place a tower, I want to place a tower either if I'm on really far away resources, or I'm trying to protect a resource that's forward. This is forward. You could have put it here. But you have a military. You can defend it over here. Which, also, I just don't... Like, you built this Chamber of Commerce and you left the villagers here, I would have brought them back to base. But...
okay.
Small thing. So, here's another opportunity you have. So, even with all this, he attacks this tower randomly. I don't think it's going to be on his part, but he goes in. You clean him up. I wish that you have target fired his spears with your archers, because you lose a few more knights than you should have. Then you target fire them and we're good. And I'm sitting here like, okay, he's going to follow up now, right? Nope.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah, I see.
And you want to know something that really hurts? You're on 6...
He's got probably no unit.
Yeah, you're on 16 military, and his gut reaction is to make 0 military and age up with White Tower. So if you just walk forward, you stop this White Tower, it's game over.
And you have, like, so much wood, and as French, you need food and gold.
Yeah, and he has food. He has food and gold. He has way too much
okay.
food.
I was looking at English. My bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, English, his macro is way off, too, right? Like, his macro is way off. So all he need, like, I mean, we could comment on your food. It's fine. You can fix that. But, which is another thing. Like, your trade, I think you thought your trade was giving you more gold than it was. It's only giving you 370 with the 4 villagers on. So you needed more on gold. But if you just ran forward, like, I think the way to identify this is if you win a fight with significantly more units alive, you always push. If you win and you only have like 3 units, then he's probably reinforced and you probably reinforced and it's even. But if you're cleaning up with you having 8 units alive, you gotta go. And you saw the scout line. You could send that scout forward while you're pushing. You would have caught that age up and you would have ended it right there.
Yeah.
Instead, we're still sitting here.
It's crazy to see my scouts do nothing all game. Yeah.
Now you wall, which is good, but you're not even walling the side where the trade's at. You you wall this side.
True.
Which, like, this wall, well, it's good you got this wall up. You only needed this wall to be like this one right here. Like from here to here to here. But yeah, so he ages up, and at that point, if I'm you, I'm like, there's no way he aged up with units. And when someone ages up like this, you go. And yes, he has a white tower, but your knights could run past that white tower and just kill villagers.
Oh, he has kill everything. Yeah.
He has 35 spots to hide, and he has 33 villagers. Actually, you literally could not. He could have put all his villagers away, but he was on. You could have checked resources. He was on the deer right here, no problemo. So, like, even if you run up, you see the white tower. At least go. Let me check resources. I would have sent 2 knights right and checked all the resources you scouted, and 2 knights left, and checked. You always check food and gold. See if they're there. Your other option is, okay, I fall back, I wall up and I get to castle, because you're close to castle. So all you need to do is get some gold, which at this point, if I'm you, I pull basically all of my villagers off sheep and go to gold, because you did go to boar, but you actually pulled all your villagers off gold, so now you have no way to age up, and besides trade. So that just needed a macro check of, what do I need? I need to go to castle. What do I have? I have a shit ton of food. I'm going to pull all my food villagers off, like, berries, and put them on gold. Because I just need gold really bad right now. So you age up. I'm fine with the Royal Institute. You have a lot of knights. Guildhall is definitely a tad more popular right now because of the free resources. But if you have a lot of knights, which I would consider 10 or more, maybe like 15 knights, worthy of doing Royal Institute, because you can upgrade them and they're really good now. You also get the trading upgrade, which is really nice.
Oh, man, I didn't know that was in there.
Yes,
oh, no.
It is. Active traders generate 1 gold every 6 seconds.
Oh, I thought I had to get the imp to get that. Oh, darn.
Well, that's the point. This gives you imp upgrades. All these are imp upgrades.
Yeah. I thought it was just the, like, cool military ones. I didn't know that. Oh, damn.
It's everything.
Yeah. Sick.
So with 14 traders, each producing a gold every 6 seconds, like, that helps. That for sure helps.
That would have been really nice. Yeah.
But at no point did you pause. Which, remember, we always have more time than we think. At no point did we pause and go, okay, what do I need? Oh, shit, I need gold. Like, my trade's not paying off the way I think it is. I have way too much food. I'm going to pull all my villagers off food onto gold because... And also, I would have dropped a market. Because when you have this much resource imbalance, sell it. Because you need units. If you can just get units, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I could have just done it through the... I can do it through the landmark, I think, too. I didn't even need it.
Yeah, you can sell through the landmark, yeah. So
I always forget that's like a mechanic in the game, yeah.
So you notice you tried to do this raid, and he walled up because you gave him time to wall up. He's walling up right now.
Yeah.
Even if you attacked earlier and just sat here, like, the white tower doesn't protect his gold. Like, you could at least stop him walling up. You could have kept raiding him and keeping him off resources. Not to belabor the point, but you let him continuously stay alive when he had no right to stay alive.
Absolutely zero, yeah.
So you start getting archers, and really, the second you hit castle, you just need to make arbitrary. And that's how you need a lot on gold, because you want to make knights and arbitrary, which are both gold-based units. And he's he's going to go men-at-arms after this. So I wouldn't have taken this fight. There's no reason to take this fight at this point.
Right, I should take it under TC. Yeah, there's no reason to take it here.
And the way to think about it is, he's not threatening anything yet, and I just need time. Like, you have the resource. Remember when we talked about defense? You have the resources. Time is on your side. Just, you need to rebalance your resources, drop more production, make units, and trust that your eco is better, which it is. You know your eco is better. You just need to give it time to cook. Instead, you forced an engagement. I like that you picked off the villagers making the tower. That was smart. You now are start making farms, but you desperately need gold. Like, and then you like, okay, I need to rush up a keep. Which, in reality, you just need units. Like, if you just make units, you'll be fine. A keep is nice, don't get me wrong, but when you have the resources to make units, just make units. Also, you made the farm, like, right in front of where his military was. And then you did an old Trumbull problem, which is where you quit early.
Yeah, the classic. My signature move.
You don't need to quit here.
Yeah, I didn't.
I understand the frustration, but you had 5,000 collective resources.
Yeah. I was just in my head. I was just like, oh, there goes the trade, and I was thinking,
dude, yeah, it's so much.
Yeah.
So what could you have done if he's pushing the trade like that? What could you have done?
Just hide them. Just beat them off with all the knights. I have 5,000 food or something. Just beat him there. And
all you need to do
resume
is take all the traders and have them drop off at the trade thing one last time, and just have them sit over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then move all your food, maybe a lot of food villagers to gold, and just make units, and eventually they'll catch up. And he'll have to attack into your TC, which gives you the defensive point to hold. And I think you're gonna live that.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of my usual issues of like the passivity, scouting stuff, compounded by not exactly knowing how the trade was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, then we go to this Abbasid game, Abbasid versus China.
Mm-hmm.
This is a classic boom off. So when you see China as Abbasid, what's your plan?
Usually 3 TC.
Yeah. Just in general as Abbasid, you should always go +1 TC compared to your opponent. So if everyone goes 2, you go 3. Mm-hmm. If he goes 3, you go 4. Which is funny, because he goes 3 and you go 4. Which is very funny. This is the most boomy game on one of the smallest maps. But once again, your lack of scouting and your lack of passivity is going to really hurt you in this, because Abbasid's PowerPoint against China, as Abbasid, you don't want to go to Imperial of China. Their Imperial is better than yours. Don't get me wrong, you have a great Imperial, but your Imperial is really powered by your trade, which this map does not have great trade. It's such a small map, the trade posts are really close. You have to like stonewall half the map to make it viable, which is just really hard. 2, and his units in Imp are better. He has better siege. His palace guards and hand cannoneers are better than any unit you have. I mean, your Ghulams are really good, but his hand cannoneers and Nesta B, Imp Nesta Bs especially, will just tear through that. So,
yeah,
your win point is actually castle and just out uniting him in castle. And as China, I hate playing against Abbasid because while I can make villagers faster if I match TCs, my villagers are expensive. They're 50 food a pop. Your villagers are cheap, so you will always have the food advantage. And so China has to be super, super food hungry. So they're going to burn through food. They're going to struggle to make units. And if you hit castle and just Gulam, and the way you have to think about it is, our tendency, especially at this rank, is we want to mass up and go. The way to play this is, the second you hit castle, you're just massing Gulams, and you're sending them everywhere. You're actually not trying to take engagements. You're trying to just do eco damage. Because if you can stop him from setting up farms, and stop him from getting to Imp easily, he just dies.
Can I ask, is there a clear path for Abbasid to win in feudal versus China, or do you think it has to be in the castle?
I mean, you can.
Not with a 3 TC? Like, I'd have to do like a 2 TC?
No, because if you go 3 TC and he goes 2 TC or 3 TC, by the time you get units over to him, he can probably hit castle and then just send knights or palace guards, whatever. So it would be hard. And if he just has a base level of defense, he'll be fine. If you want to fight this feudal, your actually best bet, in my opinion, is go military wing into immediately pushing him. And the idea being is that he's going to try to go castle, and he's going to try to go 2 TC, and you're going to use your first 4 units to slow that TC down or make it be in a bad spot. And then you're just going to make units and cut them off from resources, drop your free rams. By free, I mean you have to upgrade them or research them, and then you go. And that's effective because you're doing the exact opposite thing a Chinese player is expecting, and if they're not scouting well, they will be surprised by it. Does that make sense? Any questions around that?
No, that's clear, yeah.
Especially if he does a Barbican that is, like, for example, let's say he Barbicans the stone right here. That doesn't do anything after the stone's gone. All this is open. His
gold is exposed.
Everything's exposed back here. If he Barbicans back here, the stone's exposed. He can't get a second TC. If he Barbicans here, this is like he has to make a choice. If you do a feudal all in with military wing, does he protect his TC, which will require him to TC next to his TC, which means everything's still open? Or does he barbican resources and risk not being able to get the second TC? You're forcing him into a bad decision, which is why I still think, even on this boom off, there's actually an argument to go military wing here. Just because those 4 units force him to either make units or force him to do that choice of, okay, I have to put up a barbican to protect the second TC, and then I have to put my second TC safe because I can't. Or he has to delay his second TC, make units, and then, you know, like, you're putting him to a bad spot, which in a way makes up for the lost eco of going eco wing.
Gotcha.
Just a thought, a thing to test when you're trying this out. But enough theory, let's see how this plays out. So I would say your early to feudal scouting is a lot better in this one. You consistently see him go his next TC. You generally, I think, have a strong understanding of what he's doing. Once again, your 1 scout on this one, you need to dive middle. So on cliffside especially, I dive middle because there's always usually sheep split between the center area here. And then you just take one side of his TC, and you're a berry sieve, so you can be hyper aggressive with your scout. You don't need to bring it back for your vills. You can just go straight out and try to, like, just get as many as possible. So I usually cut to one side of the opponent's base and get a whole side to myself, even on a normal civ, just because the map's so small. If you go one side, you're risking him going, like you cutting up here and then going back. You risk him going all the way back and basically taking everything and then getting a little bit more than you.
Right.
Age up is good, so I'm not worried about that. So at this point, you're starting to age up. Your scout's a little slow here. We need you need you to be by his base soon. You see how he
that's
beat
exactly
you to that
what
spot?
happened, isn't it?
He beat you to that spot and got way more sheep than you. He has... He's going to get this one to center, too. So he has... Where's his scout at? Where'd it go? Am I blind? It's right here. So he got 12 sheep, not including the sheep that are already under there. And you have 4 plus 4, 8 altogether. And that's including the ones you got early because you didn't eat them. That's the 12 here is not including the ones he got early on and dropped back off. So, like...
True.
Really beat you on that because he did a better scouting angle than you did. So we go to our TC timing. Man, it's very nice to have that fresh fruit stuff. The one thing you can clean up, you gathered too much food. The best absent players know exactly how much food and exactly how much gold. You did well in the gold. You got a little bit too much food. Not a huge deal. But if we're talking about margins, the faster the TC, the better. Your goal right now as a scout, is he going to push you? Because as China, sometimes what I like to do is I just drop archery ranges and go Zignu and just push.
That's what I was sort of expecting, because that's what usually happens.
You dropped off. Yeah. You saw... Okay, so you put Imperial... So the first you're checking, he's on stone. And honestly, I would have just sat here and waited. What's interesting is... So he barbicans, as we said, he barbicans where he wants to put the TC. Imagine if you have the 2 archers and 2 spearmen here. He doesn't get this TC.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
It's done. But anyway, especially on this map, because this map is so small. Like, but yeah, on any size map, your military wing allows you to immediately... here's the thing. I'm a big about... If I hate playing against it, it's probably good to do. I hate playing against Abbasid and they go military wing, because I have to respond to that. Either putting my barbican on stone, as I said, or making units. So this second TC, I love the placement, right on wood and deer. You could have placed it right in the deer, honestly. But great second TC, knowing you're going to make a third. Your goal here is to see... So you see that there. It doesn't die, that's nice. I would have just parked the scout right next, because you saw, he's not making military, he's going TC. Now, I would have parked right next to the stone and see does he go 3 TC. That's actually what you need to see next. Because you're a little late on seeing the 3rd TC. You drop a stable. Why'd you make a second scout? Did you think this one was going to die?
I'm not entirely sure why I made a second scout, actually.
Because I thought, oh, he's going to make a horseman and try to, like, catch the TC drop. Which, if you made a horseman, you could have stopped the 3rd TC, potentially.
True.
But instead,
I was sort of thinking, I'd default drop the stable against Chinese, since I just assumed Chupanu's coming. But, yeah, I'm not sure why I built an extra scout.
Did you know he was going 3 TC?
No. No.
So you actually...
I went 3 because I saw a second one at least, and then
if you actually saw him gathering the resources, you just didn't click on it and see it, I think. But now it's a race to castle. Like, I think both of you have in a way kind of agreed. Oh shit, I did not mean to be on. There we go. I think you both kind of agree that this is now a race to castle. I'm fine with doing a few early farms, but like now's your time to just get on all the berries, because this is kind of your time of peace, right? Like, he's not pushing you, you're not pushing him. You should be on this berries. You should be on this berries. I like the walls. And your goal is, can I get to castle as soon as possible, and can I drop 3 or 4 barracks? Would be the goal here.
Just
gulams, just insane amount of gulams. Because the thing about it, you might go, well, he's gonna make crossbows. He needs a lot of crossbows, a lot of crossbows. And unless he really drops towers, yes, his TC and his barber can do okay, but like, if he has to continuously keep all his villagers in TCs, he doesn't get eco.
True.
And there's a lot of power to just forcing him to not get eco until maybe you get the relics while you're just spamming gulams. Maybe you just keep spamming gulams. Maybe you have like 4 gulams stay back and drop 2 rams while you continuously spam gulams, and then you push your rams. Like, there's a lot of ways you can do it. But I think the gulam spam is the thing you're always aiming to do. And the thing that, once again, is China, I hate, because you have 3 gulams here, and then you have 2 gulams here. And the way to do it, especially if you're struggling with the APM, is to send them to, like, here, and then take, like, 4, and shift to the back, and then click A, and shift A, move into here. And then shift A, move into here. And then shift and A, and it's like, shift and A, move them everywhere. Because they're going to die. Like, the goal is not to be precise with them. The goal is make him never have
Make him lose APM trying to deal with it.
Yes. He has to lose the APM moving his villagers around and moving crossbows around. And you're just getting all the resources while that happens. So now we're doing our little castle rush here. And this is tough because you are also having to balance making through villages out 3 TCs, balancing your eco. You're doing a pretty good job of it right now early. You go up culture wing, I would have gone up military wing.
Yeah, that was a big oops. I think the Gulam health and the archer's speed would have been so much better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Gulam health is huge.
Yeah.
And your archer speed is huge. And you got 2 camel riders, so if he went knights, they would have like done something. Like, it's just like it's just exactly what you need, right? Like, and that's another thing is, if the Gulam spam doesn't work, you immediately transition to dropping like 4 archer ranges, and you just go mass archers, because your archers are so good with composite bows. They can even go against palace guards, because once again, palace guards don't have a lot of ranged armor. So in reality,
true.
You are one of the best matchup against China, because you can just spam archers and kind of do okay. And so going culture wing, preservation knowledge, like I get it for imp, because imp upgrades are so expensive. But like, military wing in this sort of example. Why? So you saw the 3rd? Did you see the 3rd TC? No, you haven't. So why'd you go 4th? You just had the resources.
The extra stoneling round, I thought, because I chose culture thinking like, oh, this is gonna be one of those insane imp games. If he's walling 2 and I'm walling, it's gonna be one of those stupid imp games. So I thought culture to like sort of imperial, and I'll out upgrade him or something. But it was, I think, a flawed premise. I think just have the warrior wing faster for those upgrades and try to win it there.
And if you remember, he's gonna be out of food. Where does he want to put? Like, ask yourself, where's he gonna put farms? Here. He's gonna put farms here. Like, as China, he has to make farms by castle if he's going, especially 3 TC. That's so many bills. Eating through food, so he has to go 3 TC. Especially what you should do is, you send 1 Gulam. Like, actually, you're here. This is his only other deer pack, and Boar, he's not here. So he has to be on berries, but berries suck. So he wants to desperately get a farm transition up. And kind of the game is, if he gets his farm transition up, it's really hard for you. If you stop him from doing that, he dies. It's kind of like the first big point here. But Fortissey's nice. You get it up. And good, like, high-level Abyssal players are dropping 4 barracks right now.
I even have the wood.
And you have the wood for it. They drop 3 to 4 barracks, and they drop a monastery, and they're spamming ghulams, and they're getting out, and they're grabbing the relics. And you even see he's on spears. You even wall the middle, so you have the opening in the middle. Instead, we have pacifity. You literally have 1,500 food. You have 500 gold. You're getting the correct upgrade. You want Iron Undermesh immediately for ghulams, especially Iron Undermesh and Blue Marine are really important because they do the double hits. And now you're dropping 2 barracks, 2 archer range. No need, just go pure ghulam early, as we said. But watch how this pacifity is affecting you. Since you're getting up the barracks after you enter castle, you're having no effect from hitting castle.
Yeah, 0 effect.
It's like you're still in feudal.
Yeah.
You didn't even make knights. Like, now you're making knights, but they're not going anywhere. During this time, he is just now aging up, and he's trying to get farms up. If you had been spamming ghulams right now, what are you doing?
He's dead. Yeah, he's so dead.
He's not getting up his age up. He's losing all his food. He has to send his villagers away from the farms because nothing's protecting them. You could have just sat 2 ghulams here. Because in feudal, he has nothing to stop ghulams. Absolutely nothing. So this is the kill shot right here. You have him. But your passivity and your lack of scouting, but in this case, you don't even really need a scout. You know, he's in his base. He's making farms. I just think ghulams.
Not doing that.
But we got nothing happening. And so now it's just really slow. And he actually gets emboldened a little bit by how slow you're being, because he's going to rush Imp. Because he's so slow to get to castle that he has Imp resources by the time he hits castle, basically.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice he hit Imp until, like, a little bit later. I was sort of surprised, like, oh, darn, that's bad news.
But remember, if he ages up, what does that mean?
He's naked, yeah.
He doesn't have the units.
Yeah.
And so now you're making units, and you realize, oh shit, I should probably be in there. And then you go, and you stop the tower, and he has these spears, and I think that's literally all the units you have. You have 22 units, he has 12, and that is 7 crossbows and 4 spears. And he is almost Imp.
Oh my god, yeah.
And really the only reason he could do this was because he got these farms up, and he hasn't been attacked. Because here's the thing, the second these barriers right now, he has no food. Like, this amount of farms is not enough to produce units regularly, and he's almost out of food here. So even if you decisively attack right now, you could probably still be okay, even though he's an Imp. But he hits Imp, and you just take so long. You have so many units in queue, but you only have 4 production buildings. Oh, now you made war over here. Okay, now we're pumping. But, like, once again, this is going to take so long. When this could have been happening more instantly. The thing it's hard that I have to remember whenever I do these mega boom games is that your eco spikes so fast. It's like, oh, I don't have any resources. Oh, now I have way too many resources. Oh, now I can't produce units fast enough. Like, always overproduce production when you're doing these, like, 3TC, 4TC style games. I like grabbing the sacred sites, sure. You should be grabbing relics more so than sacred sites. But we just wait. And guess what? During this time, here's another thing to remember. When someone enters Imp, they need a shit ton of gold. Like, a lot of gold. He needs 350 gold to upgrade his hand cannoneers. And when he wants to upgrade to elite crossbows, he needs 700 gold. For palace guards, he needs 700 gold for elite, and it's 350 gold for battle hardened. He needs 250 for ancient techniques. And he needs 500 gold for additional barrels. Like, there's and so even if someone hits Imp and you're like, can I just keep him off gold? That's like an achievement. Now he has protected it, but like at this point we need to be doing something. And always remember, farms in the back, just rotate around the back of the base. Try something, because if you just let him sit in Imp without any pressure, China wins. So you finally get your castle upgrades for your archers. Do you have your castle upgrades for your spearmen? I can't click on them. There's too many units. Okay, you do. And now we're waiting. Why are we waiting on a trebuchet? your Abbasid drop a ram. Yeah, you didn't notice that. Your Abbasid drop a ram.
Yeah.
And go. Yeah, he's gonna go sneak over here. Then you send knights back here, and these knights actually do work. Because that was really smart by you, because he has to keep units here, because he has to defend this.
Mm-hmm.
So you start slaughtering Vills. You go Imp. Honestly, at this point, you wait. Because you've given him so much time. But you commit the cardinal sin. You attack while you're aging up. Why are we doing this? This is your army.
Yeah, I thought I had it made. Right at this moment, I thought, okay, I got this guy.
Because you have to remember, you gave him all the time in the world to get his imp upgrades. And now he has them. His palace guards are beefy boys. Does he have hand cannoneers yet? He's starting to make hand cannoneers, I think. So I think he's gonna have hand cannoneers coming soon as well. And like that's just insta loss. For you, because those Imperial Palace Guards are so good for China. Like, he just eats you up. Like, your archers are, even though they're not even speedy archers. That's the problem. Did you go military wing? You are going military wing.
Yeah.
His Palace Guards have 5 arrow armor, so your archers are doing 3 damage a pop right now. And I don't think you have enough crossbows. Yeah, you only have 8 crossbows, so they're not even really doing that much work. So he just rams you down. And, like, here's the thing. You either attack right at Imp, or you sit back and let your army protect you to go to Imp, and then you just make this an Imp game. Because if you got into Imp, your goal at that point is to get your farms up. Because you do have really good farms. You do. Get your farms up. Back here. Get a keep up. But also the problem is that if he gets to Imp and can just run Palace Guards through your base, you can't kill him. Like, a group of 5 Palace Guards requires a bunch of crossbows or knights or something. It's so annoying. It's the best strategy. So, at this point, the game's lost. Because it's going to be impossible for you to recover from this. You try to do a Kilo Wolo, doesn't work.
Yeah. I really felt it right here. I was just like, oh, the Imp upgrades are out. Not exactly sure. And then at this point, I was like, oh, I needed those military wing upgrades so badly.
Because your Imp Gulams can shred his Palace Guards. They can hold the line. It comes down to, does he get enough hand cannoneers? Can you get mangonels up? You stand a chance. His Imp is better than yours, but you stand a chance. You don't stand a chance if he has a full Imp army and you have nothing to defend your base. And so I understand you quitting on this one. That's just... Once again, if we're to take something about your playstyle that can go to any of the civs you play in this tournament, it's you have to keep scouting and you have to try to be decisive. Because even if you're wrong, you can learn from being aggressive. There's not much to learn about being passive except you just didn't attack. But aggressiveness, you can learn like, oh, I read that wrong. I read that situation wrong. I shouldn't have attacked there. Or I did attack correctly, but I could have attacked over here. I didn't check resources. But like, you need to be a little bit more decisive. And I think something to remember too is when you're doing it as eco style, mass units is always a strategy. It's great to have the perfect comp, but if you're gonna have an eco out the ass, just make units. And what's your best unit? Gulam. Just go mass Gulam. So yeah, passivity, scouting. It's what's holding you back. I think the most right now.
Yeah, certainly.
Now, you played that game really well in a lot of ways. You scouted him well early. You got the TCs up. The TCs were in a good spot. Your eco was going. Once you hit castle, you kind of lost the vision, is all.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Any questions from the crowd about that game?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Then, the last thing I want to do is show a positive game, because I think you did something here that was really good. Which is, I hear so much of people who struggle with... What am I doing? There we go. Who struggle with the English 5 Villager Rush.
Oh, this one. Yeah, that was a funny one.
You get 5 Villager Rush, and you played it perfectly. I might actually take this and make a video of it, because I see people complain about it so much. I just want a video of, like, here, watch this person deal with it. And here's the thing. You dealt with it without even using, like, John Dark in the deal with it. You just responded correctly to it.
Yeah, I didn't even know how to play Jean d'Arc. I was just sort of this is an experiment for me.
I could tell because you didn't use her abilities for half the game.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't consecrate a building till, like, the 14-minute mark. So you choose Scout. One, Once again, we could talk about the way you should do scout. He comes up with his vills. He's actually... Oh, yeah, he has to make a tower first. A lot of times you see English players... Some English players will attack immediately and then make the tower, but he makes the tower first. Boom. You're going to lose a vill. Yeah. Now, what you did that was really good, you immediately just went to the next mining camp. Then went to the next gold. Because you only need 40 more gold. So that's a big thing. Go to the immediate next gold. Now, on maps where your gold spawn together sometimes, like Dry Arabia, this might be hard. But you should always just, like, on those maps, YOLO to the farthest away gold. Because he has to walk his villagers all the way there if he wants to stop it. So you do a smart thing. You immediately walk to the other gold. At this point, I would have been... A small tweak is I would have started rallying to wood right now. So you could try to get a tower if needed. Now, the problem is, if you tower one side, he can tower the other. You need 2 towers to truly protect it. But at least 1 tower potentially slows him. But you do the smart thing. You get the age up going. He's going to scout and see it. And I just want to point out the masterful thing you do after he does that. You age up. You start aging up. You bring John Dark away just at the right time. His villagers are there. You notice his villagers are there. And then, God, beautiful, you immediately burn his tower.
Yeah.
Because if he's not feudal, he can't upgrade the tower, and all 5 of his villagers were over here. So this was just very nice timing. This villager ran away and, like, took his villager's time away. He's lost so much time. And a nice thing about this style is you get a lot of sheep because he has to have his scout around checking where your villagers are going. The powerful part of this strategy for English is you panicking. But you didn't. You went to the other gold, you attacked, you killed his tower, now that's gone. And he basically lost all bonuses from that.
Yeah, and his 5 vills have been like AFK the entire game now.
Yeah, that's just a lot of resources to lose. So he runs back. He also ages up. And then he is like, this is so all in, so he has to immediately just start making units and go for you. You try to go 2 TC, which is bold, to say the least. Because you should have expected he's immediately going to attack. And honestly, if he had played this straight up, he might have just caught you on the age up.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, caught you on the TC. I think your TC spawn, this boar is really good. Run over there and get it. Once again, not panicking. You get the TC up. You kill that. The scouting is hurting you once again because you keep scouting off to the side instead of down the middle. I would have won you because you would have seen he's making a bunch of spears. Which in this case, all really you need is... If you see is archers. Archers and you win this. Which you start making them, but you could really go all in on them if you had scouted a little bit more. Get the board, go on gold. Soul's kind of waiting here. Once again, please don't be on the berries unless you actually absolutely have to. At this point, I'm like, okay, I go castle. Because English feudal defense can be so annoying. Castle gives you a little bit more ways to handle it. The other option is to just mass and check. But once again, you're not checking. So, like, that feedback still stands. But then you see this happening. And I think a lot of people would have panicked. And just been like, I'm dead. You take this initial fight and then you run away. I would have run everything away. But you do a good job keeping John Dark alive. And you're getting XP this whole time. You are using the arrow a lot, which is good. Using a little divine arrow. Picking up
that was cool.
You need to consecrate your buildings if you ever play John Dark again, but that's minor. You then get blacks. Well, it's not minor. It's really important. But anyway, you drop another archer range because you see, oh, he is all spears, which is the right move. You get off berries, which is great. You need gold really bad. And you rush over to this deer over here, which is the right move. You're on gold over here. I would have just gone all in on gold, because if you get to castle and make men-at-arms, he dies. Because he's so spear heavy. Like, so spear heavy. Like, he's not doing the thing that the thing that sucks about going castle against English sometimes, because if he gets like 30 or 40 longbows, and even castle men-at-arms suck to them. But he's so spear heavy. It's like, oh, if I just get men-at-arms, I'm fine. I win this. So you go to what you're doing, which is really smart, is you're taking advantage of how slow the English army is. So you just go to the sides. He's not going to run over here. He's not going to run over here. He's going to run down right onto you because this is his only option. He brings the villagers forward. He does his little push here. Defensively, you play this pretty good. You use the TC. I would have liked if you had put like 13 villagers in there just to start machine gunning him down. But you don't panic. Like, some people would have ran out to really try to save this landmark. It's like, fuck it, whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, yeah. I'm killing all of his units right here, and then once all his units are dead, then I kill his rams, and it's fine. This guy tried, like, every kind of scare tactic in the book. The early villager rush, the all-in with multiple rams, which if you had taken that fight too early, that would have been really bad. And then he tries to do the old white tower drop, which just kills villagers.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought he was going to quit here, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And then he does the most all-in of all-ins. This is really funny. I just wanted to show this for you because I think this is just hilarious. So now you go out on the... You go castle, you go out on the mill, and he's going to drop this shit right here, which is so silly. White tower in the base. Once again, this is liable. I've seen plenty of people lose to this. Even though you are, I mean, you have 78 vills. He's 36. Like, you are leaps and bounds ahead. There are people who see this, though, and they're like, oh, I'm so fucking dead. Like, I can't stop this.
Yeah.
The solution's pretty straightforward. Remind yourself, I am significantly ahead. I've been 2 TC. He's lost a bunch of vills. I sit back. I get 2 trebuchets. I make men-at-arms and archers, and I win. It's fine. It's all fine. You try to go rams. I'm not big on ramming the white tower because you have to defend the ram and it will kill your units as you walk up. He tries to do this little, I'm just going to spam out rams, which once again is fine. You have this TC back here. You can keep on making houses. Say okay. But it's just patience. It's recognizing, oh, I'm fine, not overreacting. And then eventually you realize, yeah, I should probably just make siege workshops, make a couple trebs, and I win. Once again, I've seen people in this exact same scenario lose because they just ram their heads against the white tower 1,000 times. But you played it really smart. You played it calm, cool, collected, and you didn't let these like weird strategies lose you the game. It's really good job on that.
Yeah, and that's the weirdest thing about my play is that I'll quit over just like a bad fight in my base, but all these goofy cheese strats mean nothing to me because I know all the villager time, like I'm ahead even if he's doing some goofy stuff. So it's the weird dichotomy there.
But overall, so what are the civs you think you're going to be using in the tournament? Is it Abbasid, French?
And my most played right now is Abbasid and French.
Mm-hmm.
Probably third most played is Rus, but I'm sort of messing around with JD and HRE. See which one I like more.
Yeah, you just need a third civ.
Yeah.
And any of those is fine because you have your French, which is a good aggressive civ, Abbasid, which is a good boom civ. And so I know sometimes they have water maps on the map pool. And so HRE is a really good water civ. If you're looking for one that can kind of be the water civ style. So can Ayubi, Japan are also big water civs right now. Rus is the best water civ forever. So if you end up doing Rus, that's fine. Okay. I don't know. I need to read the fine print if they do bans or not. Because if they do bans, you might have Rus banned, but or they'll just look at your profile and ban French. But yeah, just try to have a third civ that you practice for the next couple days, and then I think my goal for Thursday will be to try to give you one big tip for each of your civs. We'll look at a game, and then we'll start going over matchups on maps if they have maps released.
Sounds good. Sounds cool. All
right, man. Any last questions for me?
None that are like fully formed right now.
Okay.
No.
I have a thing I might point out.
Yeah.
I feel like you had like way too much food at the end of that game too. So like, I feel like trying to even out your resources so you could spend all of them.
That's a good one. I'll put that down.
Yeah, you actually tend to flip food more than any other resource. That's a good point. Which is, if you have any resource to float, food is the best one to float. But if it ever happens, it's either first, can I pull some villagers off onto the resource I need? Two, sell a little bit. It's fine. And try to rebalance. But yeah, man, you have the whole Discord cheering you on for this weekend. Let's get you ready. Let's put some games.
My chat's cheering you on too. We got it.
Yeah, it's hype.
Hype. Oh yeah. All right, man. Take care. Good luck.